Hello, welcome back to the Merengues Media. I'm just here to do a quick reaction to the game that just rendered. Real Betis versus Real Madrid. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I would really appreciate it. This was a La Liga game. As you guys know, we're tied with Barcelona. We're 1 point above Atletico Madrid, who are going to be playing Atletico Bilbao. So it was a hard game for them. And then Barcelona plays tomorrow. I think they play Sociedad. Um, so we needed to win this game just to keep in pace. I mean, if we would have won this game, we would have been in the first place, 3 points above Barcelona, and possible 4 points above Atletico Madrid, because again Bilbao are like a hard team to play. Um, but yeah, this game started. How do I even go by the game, guys? I don't even know how to start with the game because it was just such a bad game. I mean, it was such a frustrating game. It was awful. It was a typical Real Madrid team from, like, a month ago. When we're having those bad games, this was one of them. It was really hard to watch. It was terrible. That's just the way to play. Everybody played bad. Before I get deep into the game, let me talk about the starting 11. Now, Valverde's been injured. Like, he's been out. They're not saying the injury is serious. I'm assuming they're keeping him for Tuesday game against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. So he didn't play the last game. He also didn't play this game. He wasn't in the squad at all. So Ancelotti went with Vasquez as a right back, David Alaba, Rudiger, and then Mendy as a left back. In the midfield, he went with Chouamini, Brahim Diaz, and Modric and Luka Modric, and then in the front, Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Vini Jr. Um, Honestly, let me just say this: there was nothing going on in this game, for at least on the Madrid side. Nothing going on. Real Betis knew what they wanted to do. They were gonna be putting us under pressure. There was no way they were gonna let us play from the back. So whenever we had the ball, we had to play long ball because they were like pressing us high. They were not out there to play low block or anything like that. They were, obviously, their defensive line was very organized, but they also were pressing us very, very high. So they just didn't give us any chance to breathe. And by then and by that we started making mistakes. Anyways, and in the 10th minute, just before 10 minutes, Mbappe received the ball. He gave a really good pass to Mendy. I didn't know how Mendy found himself high up there in that position, but that's good for him. I don't always rate him as a left back. I don't think he offers much. Definitely doesn't offer much offensively. Defensively, he's okay. I think he's clumsy. I just think I don't think he's a Real Madrid level player, at least not anymore. I don't like him on the ball, but anyways, that's off topic. Mbappe gave a pass to Mendy. Mendy found himself in a very good place, and he passed it to Brahim Diaz, and Brahim Diaz scored. And that was about it as far as Real Madrid goes. That was the only chance they created pretty much the whole 94 minutes. That was the only chance they created, the only clear chance they created. There was nothing after that. And I'm not even over exaggerating, guys. Like, I'm not over exaggerating. There was absolutely nothing. There was no creative. There was zero, nada, zero, nothing for the whole 90 minutes, 90 plus minutes, nothing. And from then on, yeah, like I said, nothing. Real Betis got comfortable. Isco was balling out. Um, Anthony was taking on players. Their wingers were attacking us, dude. Like, we were so bad. Like, in the midfield, like, this was one of those. You remember how I was saying about something about Luka Modric being great and all and stuff like that? He's a legend, and I respect him, and he's one of our greatest player to ever play for Real Madrid. I put him above Zinedine Zidane as legendary status in our club. All that been said, but this was a fast-paced game, and that means Luka Modric age showed. He couldn't get on the ball. The midfield and the offense was so, and the attackers were so separated. There was no connection. There was nothing. Literally, all they did whenever Courtois got the ball, he gave it to Rudiger, and Rudiger would like just play a top ball, try to hit it, like basically just trying to catch them on a counter attack. That's all we did because the midfield, like, we couldn't even put few passes together to get it up to the strikers. At one point, Rodrigo was coming all the way back past midfield, coming all the way back around our box to get the ball so he can bring the ball up because they were not receiving ball. Vinicius and Mbappe were nowhere to be found. Mbappe, yeah, sure, he was our best player in the first half. That's 100% because he was the only one like basically trying to create something up front. Him and Rodrigo was coming down to get the ball. So since he was so deep, he couldn't create anything up there. Brahim Diaz, I don't even want to talk about Brahim Diaz. I know I already said like he doesn't do anything when he starts. Yes, he scores goals, or like he happened to score. And today was basically like an open net. Like it was a tap in. It was nothing to shout about. That play was all about Mbappe. That first goal was all about the Mbappe pass that he gave to Mendy. That was a great pass. But apart from that, Brahim Diaz, he's so shit. Like he's good to come on, but he's not a good player to be starting games. I don't know why Carlo didn't think maybe start Kamavinga since Jude Bellingham was suspended. Maybe start Kamavinga, try something else. Just don't always be predictable. Like you already know Brahim Diaz was gonna cover Jude Bellingham. Like the team is just so fucking predictable. There's nothing surprising. It's such a like when we're bad, we're so bad. When we're awful, we're fucking awful. And I can't believe I'm saying this word. We miss Ceballos. Like we miss him. And I knew like he was the one that was bringing balance to that midfield, but I didn't know how bad it was without him. There was no creativity. There was nothing. Like there was no movement. Whenever Rudiger had the ball, like whenever Courtois gave like David Alaba the ball, or Rudiger the ball in the center back, the attackers in the midfield were just stagnant. Like they're standing one place. There's no movement. There's nobody who was coming asking for the ball, or, like trying to make it move. There was nobody doing that. Like I said, the attackers and the midfielders were so apart from each other. There was no connection. There was no tunnel. There was no channel. Everything was locked. It was so fucking frustrating to watch. Anyways, in the corner kick, Real Betis got a corner kick and they scored the first goal. I don't know who was marking the player that scored the first goal, but I think it was Luka Modric. But still, like it was like a open, like the guy was like basically standing by himself. And they scored that first goal. From then on, we didn't, like I said, even after 10 minutes before they scored the first goal, we didn't create anything. Yeah, we were penetrating a little by little. Vini was trying to take on players. Vini again, I don't know what's going on with that guy, man. I don't know what's going on with Vini. Anyways, we'll get back to him when we start talking about players that performed and players that didn't perform. Yeah. And then we went to the half. And we came back in the second half. I was thinking maybe like, okay, we're going to wake up a little bit. We're going to play with a bit of intensity, start playing a bit quicker passes. No, the second half was even worse. Mbappe just forgot how to control balls. Pause. He forgot. He's just like, like there's he made 3 miscontrol passes, all the passes that were given. He was just so off the rhythm in the second half. I don't know what happened in it. Like when they came, all of them were off rhythm. Anyways, Real Betis were basically, they had the ball. Like they had the ball basically in our end for the whole second half. At least for like 70 minutes. Till like 75, 78 minutes when they got tired, when they realized like, okay, we're not going to score the third goal. Let's protect our second goalie. Anyways, one of our Real Betis player got the ball into the net. Rudiger didn't have any choice but to commit that foul. If he didn't commit that foul, it's a goal. The player would have most likely scored anyways. So it was a clear penalty. Isco scored the penalty and that was it. Isco, I don't know, like Isco, big shout out to Isco, man. He's one of our legends. He's a Madrid former player, great player. He balled out. Like he played really, really well. He controlled our midfield. Luka Modric, Tchouaméni, they were nowhere to be found. Brahim Diaz was shit. Like like I don't even know what position he was playing. He was playing the Jude Bellingham position, but it was atrocious. He kept losing balls. He's not strong. They push him off the ball easily. They push him off the ball very very easily. Like he was losing balls. His passes were bad. Like he's and Vasquez. Anyways, yeah. After that, after Real Betis scored their second goal, everything just went downhill from there. Everything was already downhill, but from then on, it was even worse. In the 75th minute, actually in the 60th minute, Carlo brought on Kamavinga and Gula. Now let's talk about Gula. I know I already talked about Gula in the in my last video how like he lacks confidence. Well, I thought maybe like giving him more games will be bring his confidence up. But boy, that boy like he doesn't have any muscles on him. Like he has no strength. They were pushing him off the ball. Every pass they give him, he can't control it. You can tell he lacks confidence. So like I don't know what they should do with him. Maybe when the next coach comes, maybe next year they're going to take him to a preseason. Maybe if he does well, then you keep him. But honestly, I'm thinking we should probably send him off loan and buy a creative midfielder. Okay, guys like Modric need to retire after the end of this season. All right, like we need a creative midfielder. We need one. We need a right back. That's 100% for sure. We need a right back. Speaking of right back, Vasquez was atrocious as always. He's so bad. He's so bad. I don't know how this guy became a Real Madrid player, but good for him because he finessed someone. He's so bad. And then Mendy, I don't even know what to think on Mendy. Sometimes, yeah, he has his games where he's doing well, like and stuff like that. But I don't rate him. I think he's bad. I already said he's bad. David Alaba shouldn't have started this game. Shouldn't have played 60 minutes. He's not ready to be starting games. Carlo just doesn't like youngsters. He should have still keep playing on Asensio. But Carlo, I knew it. As soon as David Alaba came back, I'm like, there goes Asensio. He's not going to play anymore. He's going to be starting Rudiger and David Alaba. Because Carlo has trust issues. He just has these players that he only wants to play those players. Even though Asensio is doing very well as a center back. David Alaba isn't ready to be starting games. He should have came on or like just not starting, period. So he didn't have a good game. Thibaut Courtois had an amazing game. Like he made a great save just before the end of the second half that could have put us 2-1 down. And then you go forward to the midfield. I already touched on Luka Modric. I already touched on Brahim Diaz. Tchouaméni played well. Like, he did what he had to do. There was nothing he could really do that he didn't do. Like the midfield just didn't have the ball. So there's nothing Tchouaméni could have done. Rodrigo played all right. Again, same thing. They were not receiving balls. So he had to come back and come get ball. Mbappe apparently had a dentist problem. He had a tooth problem. Like I said, in the first half, he was our best player. In the second half, forget it. But I still don't think they should have taken him off. Because in the 75th minute, Carlo took him off and brought in Endrick, which he didn't do anything. So for me, if you're looking to equalize, how do you take off your highest scoring player, your top scorer? How do you take off your top scorer? Yeah, sure, he was having a stinker, but it doesn't mean you take him off. I thought Vinicius was having a bigger stinker than Mbappe was having a stinker. And then last but not least, let's talk about Vinicius. Vinicius, like I said, I've been saying in my previous video, there's something going on with this boy. His head is just not, since he lost out on that Ballon d'Or, he hasn't been the same. He hasn't been the same since he lost that Ballon d'Or. He hasn't been the same. He said he was going to do it times 2 or times 10, whatever he said. But Brody, you're even worse than you were before the Ballon d'Or situation. Like, bro, like, he's so easy to wind up. He's so easy to pick on. He doesn't understand the fact that he's a great player, so they try to wind him up. He doesn't understand that, like, complaining doesn't change anything. He can't just get on with the game. He has to complain. He has to fight with the opposite fans. He has to fight with players. It's getting tiring. We're tired of it. He had a bad game. We're getting tired of it. Like, we're tired of this whole Vinny thing. Like, it's getting fucking annoying now. Right? I really hope how bad they play was because they're saving their energy for Atletico Madrid. But if we play like this against Atletico Madrid, I don't care if we're playing from. I don't care if we're playing at home. We're gonna get beat up. Oh my God, we're gonna get beat up. If people are saying, "Oh, we're saving ourselves for the Champions League," how are we gonna be saving ourselves for Champions League when I don't even think this team is good enough to win to even get to make it to the quarterfinal? God damn. This was a bad game. I think this was it was one of our worst, if not the worst performance. And we've put up a lot of bad performance this season. So by saying this was one of our worst performance doesn't really say much, because we've put up a lot of bad performance this season. A lot. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I can't wait this season to end. I can't wait. In a way, I kind of don't want us to win anything, because when we win, we think like this team is fine. It's not fine. Even when we win games, like we've had a handful of we've played almost 40 plus games, and we've had a handful of good games. A handful. I say two against City, a Man City that that's dealing with a lot of injury problems. The Man City that got beat 5-0 by Arsenal. They got beat by Tottenham 5. So like Manchester United are like the worst team in the world, beat them. So beating Man City really doesn't say much. Doesn't say much. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but it doesn't say much. So think about it. What teams that are on top form have we played and we actually went toe on toe against them? What team? Because Atletico Madrid, we can't beat Atletico Madrid. We haven't beat them home and away. Barcelona, let's not even get there. They've smashed us like 9-2 so far this season. We got beat against Milan. We got beat up against Liverpool. So tell me, what top teams have we beat and we played well? If we beat them and we played well, tell me. That's why I don't get lost. I don't get hyped over like us winning. It's okay, like it's good to enjoy the moments and stuff like that. But when you get a performance like this is like bringing us back to reality, bringing us back to how bad this team is. Anyways, so losing this game basically means, sure, we're probably still at second place, but Barcelona is probably going to beat Sociedad tomorrow. And whatever happened with Atletico Madrid and Atletico Bilbao, yeah, if Atletico Madrid win, then we're going to be at third. We were 7 point clear, guys. We were 7 point clear. In the last 4 games, we've only gained. In the last like 4 games, we've lost 2, drew 1, and won 1. We've only won 1 game in the last 4 games. In a tight race like this, you don't win La Liga like this. You don't win the league like this. And honestly speaking, before I end this video, Barcelona does deserve to win this league. They've been the best team in this league by far. And Atletico Madrid are second. Not us. We deserve to be where we are. We're third. We're third. We deserve to be where we are. We don't deserve to win this league. We don't. You don't win the league by putting a performance like that. By creating one clear chance in the whole 90 minutes. You're fucking Real Madrid, for fucking crying out sake. Anyways, guys, if you've made it this far from this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I would really appreciate it. And also, last but not least, a la Madrid.